This is the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping the show on September 14th, 2012. Our time is 8:44 Mountain, 10:44 Eastern. Radio show runs AM 640 in Toronto, 630 CHED Edmonton, QR 77 in Calgary. Should note, next week in Calgary, due to Stampeders football on QR 77, instead of being on at 4 o'clock, we are going to be on the radio at 6. So keep that in mind. Sunday, September 23rd, we are going to be on QR 77 at 6 o'clock on Sunday. If you ever miss a radio show, they are archived on Harold's websites, rarecoloreddiamonds.com and HESradio.com. We also have a podcast, which is the radio show, through iTunes. Get iTunes on your computer. Sign up for the podcast free of charge. You can take us anywhere you go. We are portable. It was an amazing week, and we're feeling pretty good about some of the calls we've made here in the past. We said quantitative easing 3 would come. It has been announced as of yesterday by Ben Bernanke. We also said watch out geopolitically. And we saw embassies, U.S. embassies, being attacked around the world and an ambassador killed. Harold, I hope people took our advice. They positioned themselves to take advantage financially of what's happening around the world with quantitative easing and geopolitical. And I give you a lot of credit because we went through a long span there where we were 100% sure the things that were going to happen in the future were going to manifest themselves. They have. And some great calls by Harold Siegel. Congrats, Harold.
Well, thank you very much, Randy. I'm only happy for our clients and listeners. That's all we care about. That's the reason that we do the show every single week. All in all, you saw exactly what happened. We talked about QE3. Quantitative easing 3, for those that don't know what that is, it basically means that the Federal Reserve is going to print an unlimited amount of money to continue to put it back into the U.S. economy to try to spur jobs and spur the economy. Now, they've done this twice before for over $1 trillion both times, and neither times has it had the desired effect. However, they're going to continue to do that, and the news that came out was very, very strong. Now, again, I don't want to confuse you because we talked about it the last couple of weeks that when quantitative easing 3 was going to happen, that we would see a move in both gold and silver and in oil and in stocks. And a lot of people would wonder, why would the stock market and gold, tend to move in the same direction? So basically, here's what the situation is. By putting this unlimited money back into the system, what the government feels is going to happen, it will spur the economy, it will bring on new jobs, and will right the ship. And basically, that's why the stock market's going up. So the stock market on the Dow on Thursday actually went up over 200 points. As we're taping the show on Friday, the Dow is up another 78 points. So we're sitting at 13,600 at this particular point, and you've got the TSX up 167 points, and we're trading at 12,527. I don't want to confuse you. This is only short-term bullish for the stock markets. So basically, don't think that this is going to be a raging bull market, because most people are scratching their head at this point here and saying, how in the world is the Dow going up so strong when the U.S. economy is in shambles? Again, this is what happens when you infuse that type of money into the system. Now, why would gold go up if they're going to print all this money? Because what happens when they print all this money, it brings on inflation, because it weakens the U.S. dollar. And let's talk about that right now, because that's exactly what's going on. As we're taping the show on Friday, gold went up over $30 on Thursday. It's trading right now up another $5. So gold is trading at a high of $1776.80 as we're taping the show. Silver was up $1.30 on Thursday and is trading at about even right now. So we're trading just, under $35 in gold. In silver. So we've got two very strong metals markets, and the stock markets are very strong at this point also. But you've got to understand that as the Federal Reserve continues to print and print and print more and more and more money, this quantitative easing 3 that's going to go back into the market, it's going to weaken the U.S. dollar. Now, here's the best example of this. when gold was at 1,500 back 9 months ago, when everybody was concerned about gold was at 1,500, and that was primarily because the U.S. dollar was trading at 84 cents against a basket of foreign currencies. So when the U.S. dollar is strong, which it has been as of late, gold falls. That's the relationship between gold and silver. When the U.S. dollar is strong, gold is going to go down. But now because of quantitative easing and other situations, what's happening now is that the U.S. dollar is all the way down to 78 cents, and consequently gold is up to 1,800. So you can see the relationship between gold, silver, and the U.S. dollar. Gold was at 1,500 9 months ago when the U.S. dollar was strong at 84 cents. Now that the U.S. dollar is down to 78 cents, gold is back up to 1,800. Now that we're going to continuously see more and more printing of U.S. dollars, and this isn't only restricted, by the way, to the U.S. The exact same situation is more than likely going to happen in Europe. So we're going to see massive printing of all this money, which will reduce currencies around the world. One of the recipients of this, by the way, is Canada. Canada's currency is extremely strong. Our dollar right now is almost at 103, so we're 3% above the U.S. dollar, which is going to give us, strong purchasing power, for example, in diamonds and gold, where gold and diamonds are priced in U.S. dollars and Canadian dollars are worth more than U.S. dollars. It's a very positive situation. I'll go into that a little bit further into the show. But again, at this particular point, they announced this week that QE3, quantitative easing 3, is going to be unlimited. They're going to continue to print and put more and more money back into the system. Again, short term, it's good for stocks. Long term, it's very good for gold because a weak U.S. dollar and all this printing of money is very inflationary, and that's what we really need to concentrate on. I doubt that we've done a show in the past 11 years where we have not mentioned that inflation is going to be a major factor, and now that we know that they are going to confirming QE3 unlimited, that means that we will be looking 2 years down the road, and this is extremely important, 2 years down the road at massive inflation. During the short term, we could see some deflation. I highly doubt that it's going to be anything massive because oil prices are trading right now at $100, by the way. They've moved up $20 in the past few months, and you've got food prices skyrocketing. So again, those are also two very inflationary things. Just to bring you up on the markets, gold trading at $1776.80. Silver just under $35 at $34.28. Silver's made an $8 move over the last 9 months. Palladium has made a gigantic move. It's up another $7. It's at $7.09. And platinum has probably made the biggest move of all. It's up $21 today and trading as high as $1,716. Still below the price of gold, though. The exciting thing is that oil is trading right back up at $100. It's up $1.50 today, and the U.S. dollar is down 65 points and trading at 78.62. Now, if they continue to print money, which it looks like they're going to do, the U.S. dollar will continue to fall and fall and fall. In actual fact, we believe that the U.S. dollar could drop all the way down into the 50s, and that would bring on gold prices up to the $4,000 to $5,000 level. It would bring silver prices up to $100, $150, and possibly $200. It would bring oil prices skyrocketing, and again, what would have to eventually happen is that the U.S. government and the Federal Reserve will eventually have to raise interest rates like they did in 1979 and 80 all the way up to 22% to reinflate the economy. So if we play this correctly, if we're smart, here's what we need to do. If you're not already in these markets, obviously you need to be in gold and silver physically. It's a very important market. It's one of the only markets that responds to inflation, and now we know because of quantitative easing that we are not only going to have inflation, but we're more than likely going to have hyperinflation, which is massive inflation. And if we don't prepare for this right now, if you're not in hard assets like gold and silver and diamonds, you're going to miss the boat totally, and you're going to be like the other 90% out there that's going to lose most of your your money that's going to be eaten up with inflation. We know it's going to happen now because they're going to reinflate the economy 2, 3, 4 years down the road. In the meantime, over the next 5 years, we have an opportunity to make a fortune in the proper markets. We believe that gold will double, triple, or quadruple from where it is right now, and we believe that silver will make the biggest move of all of those markets and possibly go as high as $200, which is 6 times or 600% increase from where the silver market is right now. I would not leverage the market. I would not overtrade the market and speculate. I would buy the physical market like we've been recommending for 11 years now, since gold was at $250 and silver was at $4. At this particular point in your RSPs, if you're sitting in stocks, I would change that. I would get into gold and I would get into oil into your retirement savings plans. Into your personal accounts, I would very strongly lighten up by the end of this year. We should have a strong rally in stocks going into the end of the year, but after the elections in the United States, one of the biggest fears is what's going to happen when President Bush tax credits run out. Is the market going to totally fall out of bed and plummet? The risk is certainly there. It could definitely happen. We've seen it happen in 1999 and 2008. And myself personally, I wouldn't have a penny in the stock market. It's way too risky. You don't invest in stocks in a bankrupt country like the United States at this particular time. So again, the major money is going to be made over the next 5 years in gold, silver, oil, and rare diamonds. Rare diamonds we're going to talk about a little bit later, but we've got some very exciting news on the diamond market. It's going to skyrocket along with gold and silver. So again, that's how we're sitting right now. We're going to get a strong rally in stocks and in metals going into the end of the year. We're going to see what happens with the elections. And again, after the elections, we feel that the stock market could be susceptible to a gigantic downfall, so be very, very careful about that. We need to protect ourselves. If you believe in insurance on your car, on your home, on your health, on your life, on everything like that, you better buy insurance on your financials, and that's gold, silver, and diamonds, because those are the only markets that are going to respond to what's going to happen over the next few years. If we play our cards right, if we buy the proper markets and we just sit back, we don't speculate, we don't make any stupid moves, and we just sit back and let the markets do their thing, we could come out of this doing extremely well. As I've always said, 90% of the money is made by 10% of the people. We need to be in that 10%. If you own physical gold, physical silver, you're in the oil market, which I think is going to go to $200, and on top of that, you own some diamonds for safety and for profit, we're not only going to get through these difficult times, but when the Federal Reserve reinflates the economy in about 5 years from now, we could literally see interest rates go back up to 15 or 20% like we saw in 79 or 80. Just think about it, cashing out of our gold, our silver, our diamonds at that point, doing very, very well financially, and then being able to put our money into the bank and make 15 or 20%. That's the way I see things going. Again, at this particular point, there's a lot of trouble in the world financially, and this is something that, again, is going to hurt an awful lot of people. A lot of people do not know what to do. I think that we've done an excellent job over the last 11 years predicting these markets and scenarios for you, but by far the best is yet to come. We've stuck it out, especially this year was a tough year. It's taken 9 months for the market to go from $1,500 back up to $1,800 in gold, and $26 up to $35 in silver, $80 back up to $100 in oil, but it's all happened. It's happening in front of our face, and it's only going to get better. Again, no matter how difficult things go, if we have the right investments and we stay smart, we're going to come out of this doing extremely well. 90% of the money is made by 10% of the people. All Randy and I care about is that the listeners to our radio show are in that 10%.
And if you believe in your thesis, it's very important that you do not capitulate. If you know you're right, you stick to your guns, especially when the facts have not changed. And that was the case during the time that we saw consolidation in gold and silver, where it basically went sideways. We knew what was ahead. It was just a matter of the timing. Well, the time is now to invest in precious metals. Speak with the company Harold recommends you use, a Canadian company. They have been in business 10 years. Worldwide Precious Metals is their name. The telephone number 1-866-623-2002, 1-866-623-2002. Their website is wwpmc.com, and it was about a month ago they sent me a story and said, Randy, we have to talk about this story about silver backwardization. those that listened to that show, and I talked about the gold to silver ratio as well, it was very high at that point, another indicator that silver was going to skyrocket. If you made a move and started your own precious metals investment account back then, you have done very, very well. Speak with Worldwide Precious Metals. They're there to help you manage your precious metals investment account, maximize, obviously, the profit, minimize the risk. 1-866-623-2002. Their website is wwpmc.com. And here's something to think about. Gold surged 70% from the end of December 2008 to June 2011 as the Fed kept borrowing costs at a record low and bought $2.3 trillion of debt in 2 rounds of quantitative easing. And here we are with the 3rd round. And let's get very, very specific in what they're going to do, because you need to know the facts. The Fed announces unlimited QE. Unlimited. The Federal Reserve decision is out, and it's a biggie. There are 2 main components. First, the Federal Reserve has extended its guidance for low rates through 2015. They added on basically another couple of years. That means we will have low rates at this level right now that they have in the United States for 2 more years. The second, there is going to be open-ended quantitative easing. The Federal Reserve will buy $40 billion worth of mortgage-backed securities without end. Whereas in the past, the Fed always announced a specific amount of QE. This time, there is no specific amount. There is no end. So obviously, this really opens up Pandora's box. I know that Ron Paul, the congressman from Texas in the United States who ran for the Republican nomination for president, he believes, I saw an interview with him the other day, he believes this is an absolute disaster. Now, dovetailing on what we know, unlimited quantitative easing, and on top of it, low rates until 2015. One of the top fund managers, a hedge fund manager, his name is Ray Dalio. He said the number one reason to own gold, real interest rates are likely to remain very low and below real growth rates as a means of combating deleveraging and improving debt sustainability. As such, deleveraging strongly favors shifts from financial assets, paper assets, into gold and other tangibles. What he's saying is when you have these low rates, you factor in inflation, you're getting negative real rates. As a result, it is very important that you have tangibles in your portfolio, whether it be gold, silver, diamonds. It is a must-have right now to talk about that immediately for your family. 1-866-623-2002, the number to call to speak with Worldwide Precious Metals about starting your own precious metals investment account today. The website is wwpmc.com. And one of the big reasons people feel that the Fed had to step up, obviously they saw the job numbers last week, Harold, but the big problem, and you keep hearing this in a lot of the information that I'm reading, and you can get our free newsletter from Herald or Worldwide. We send it out via email free of charge every week. You can be right on the same page Harold and I are on. One of the big concerns is the politicians in the United States, they can't get it together enough to work together to save the country. And you have that fiscal cliff coming up here at the end of the year. They believe 2013 in the United States, because of the political fighting, could be an absolute disaster. It's not a surprise, Harold, that they've gone and done QE3 because the Fed is basically doing what it can to rescue the economy.
You bet. This election is a joke. I've never seen anything quite like it. But all in all, there's just no doubt that with this quantitative easing 3 and what the governments are doing, they're just so desperate. It's like putting Band-Aids on open heart surgery. We've said that before. But the problems are so insurmountable at this point that all they're trying to do is to get through the problem and try to see if they can work it out at another time. But the problems have been happening since 1990, and it's all done because of greed and stupidity. And the bottom line at this point is that there's no easy solution to this. The governments are not working together. It's an ego situation. And again, I just feel bad for everybody in the States, especially the middle class, because they're going to get absolutely killed by this. There's just no out. And again, the elections are going to be a joke.
Speak with Worldwide Precious Metals. Start your own precious metals investment account today. 1-866 623-2002. Their website, wwpmc.com. Since 2001, gold and silver have resumed their role as a store of wealth, protecting you against the decaying purchasing power of paper money, and that's what we're seeing with quantitative easing. Stop the destruction of your paper wealth by investing in hard assets, gold, silver, diamonds. Turn your paper assets into hard assets for real wealth. Speak with Worldwide Precious Metals. It's imperative you speak with them to learn about, educate yourself about these markets, the hard asset markets. 1-866-623-2002. Jim Rickards, and he is very well known in the United States. You may have seen him on Bloomberg, saw him debating the gold standard recently. Also, he co-hosted on Bloomberg. He wrote a book called Currency Wars. And Jim Rickards really believes that the United States could be heading towards hyperinflation. Greg Hunter, he used to work for CNN. He has his own financial blog now. He interviewed John Williams from Shadow Stats. And John Williams said hyperinflation is virtually assured. The Federal Reserve is talking about unlimited QE, which they did, or money printing to boost the economy. And he says that's absolutely nonsense. The Fed is just propping up the banks. You're going to see a dollar sell-off. That should evolve into hyperinflation. Williams says he doesn't see the current system holding together without hyperinflation beyond 2014. He contends the real annual deficit is $5 trillion per year and says that that's beyond containment. Hyperinflation is virtually assured because the Fed doesn't have any options left. Williams says people should get prepared because we are facing a man-made disaster. And I know in the past, with Shadow Stats, his website, he has said inflation is way beyond. If you calculate it the way they used to in the past 10, 20, 30 years ago, inflation is way beyond what it's currently being reported at. In fact, as we just mentioned here, the debt as well is creating a massive deficit, and the deficit is creating a massive debt, and the deficit is $5 trillion, much more than the $1 trillion they're actually reporting. Harold, without about a minute left, this is really one of those shows that's a call to action. We talked in the past about having a financial firewall and having your own financial bomb shelter you can go into. We believe it's hard assets.
You bet. As the old expression goes, buy the rumor, sell the fact. Well, the fact is here now, and the fact is that with quantitative easing 3 unlimited, it has to bring on inflation. So all we need to do is just stick with our game plan, buy physical precious metals, hold on to them, buy diamonds, be in the oil market, and we're going to get through these next 5 years, and we're going to do tremendously well. So that's the most important thing, is to understand that the trend is your friend. Now we have confirmation, and now we know much stronger what to do. It was a great week in the market.
1-866-623-2002. Connect with Worldwide Precious Metals. They're the experts in this specialized field. They're the ones that Harold recommends you use when it comes to investing in gold and silver. Start your precious metals investment account today, 1-866-623-2002. The website is wwpmc.com. And as good a week as it was for precious metals, it was even better for diamonds. We will talk about that as the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall, continues right after this. Welcome back to the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping our show on September 14th, 2012. Our time is 9:10 Mountain, 11:10 Eastern. Radio show runs AM 640 in Toronto, 630 CHED Edmonton, QR 77 in Calgary. Next week in Calgary, September 23rd, this is due to Stampeders football, we will be on at 6 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock. So Sunday, September 23rd, due to Stampeders football, we're going to be on at 6 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock. Keep that in mind. Don't forget, if you ever miss a radio show, they are archived on Harold's websites, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, HESradio.com. You can sign up for our free podcast through iTunes. We are portable. You can take our radio show anywhere you go. To invest in precious metals, Now is the time. You've heard of unlimited quantitative easing. We know that quantitative easing in the past has driven gold up approximately 70%. Now is the time to have that hard asset in your portfolio, gold or silver. Speak with Worldwide, 1-866-623-2002, their website, wwpmc.com. It's that time of the show where we talk about diamonds. And it was a great week for diamonds. In fact, the Financial Times did an article on Argyle diamonds, and it's very, very long. This is a must-read article. Get it from Harold. Speak with Harold. Connect with him through rarecolorediamonds.com or call 1-800-432-1022. But this is a must-read article from the Financial Times of London on Argyle pink diamonds. And we talked about the Argyle pink tender last week. We have our featured diamond, and yes, it is an Argyle pink. It's a 0.62 carat pear-cut fancy vivid purplish pink Argyle diamond. It is absolutely stunning. You personally, you don't need to wait for the Argyle tender because Harold has taken care of that for you. He has the best Argyle diamonds in the world via rarecolorediamonds.com. And Harold, looking at this diamond, I love pear-cut diamonds to begin with, but the person that cut this, true artisan, the color is so vibrant, the cut is so beautiful. This is a must-have investment, but I would imagine someone wearing this in a ring would gather a lot of attention. This is simply stunning.
You're right, Randy. It would stop traffic. It's absolutely amazing. And the beautiful thing about our Argyles, most of them are very large Argyles. See, Argyle mine produces 90% of the world's pink diamonds. We know that it's going to close before 2018, which is less than 6 years from now, actually 5 years from now. And it appears that the diamonds are getting smaller and smaller as the lifespan of the mine comes closer and closer to closing. So, again, I've invested very, very heavily in these diamonds because they're amongst the best investments that you could possibly make. They never, ever go down in value. In fact, they go up by about 25% a year. And in this day and age, what investment will ever return 25% a year with total safety, because diamonds are not traded on exchanges like gold and silver and stocks and all those type of things where you have buyers and sellers that have different opinions and derivatives and hedge funds and all that type of thing. That doesn't exist in the diamond market. The rare color diamond market is a tiny little market, and supply and demand plays a very big part of it. When you talk about pink diamonds, which are amongst the most desired diamonds in the world, 95% of them come from the Argyle mine in Western Australia. The mine is going to close, and there goes 95% of the world's pink diamonds. If you're fortunate enough to own one of these diamonds, they can increase 10 times what today's prices are. It means if you buy a diamond for $50,000, it could be worth $400,000 to $500,000 by the time you sell it. When the mine closes before 2018, these diamonds will continue to skyrocket in price. Now, also the quality of the diamonds seem to be falling off, because I've looked at all the diamonds being offered at the tender this year, and many of them are I1 clarity, means that you can see the flaws with your visible eyes. So basically, the mine is slowing down, and the price of these diamonds are going to skyrocket. In actual fact, certain Argyle pinks this year, by the end of this year, can increase as much as 40%. We've never been more excited about the diamond market than we are right now, because most of my clients own these amazing treasures. They increase by at least 25% a year. As far as the Argyles go, I think we're going to see close to a 40% increase on these diamonds by the end of the year. On top of that, you will start to see larger increases the closer we come to this mine closing down. So the window of opportunity for owning these type of diamonds is shrinking and shrinking. The closer and closer we get to the mine closing down, the higher and higher the prices go. And then on top of that, the diamonds keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So 95% of the Argyle pink diamonds are under a quarter of a carat. If you go to the vivid section of my website, rarecolorediamonds.com, go to loose diamonds first, then look at the pink diamonds, and you're going to see the three different colors of pinks that we carry. Fancy pink, fancy intense pink, and then fancy vivid and fancy deep are in one section. Those are the highest quality and the best colors that you can possibly get. Plus, most of my diamonds are much larger than the diamonds out there right now because they command a much higher price. So basically, what we want our clients to do is to invest in these diamonds. They're portable private wealth. They never ever drop in price. price. They increase in value more than any other investment, and there's no risk to them. They never, ever fall in price. We know that the mine is going to close down. So basically, what Argyle does is every year they take their top 50, 55 diamonds, and they take them on tour to the Argyle Pink Diamond Tender, where they show these amazing diamonds all over the world in 6 or 7 different countries. They did it in China last year, and this year, for the first time, they're doing it in London to celebrate the Jubilee type of thing. So these diamonds get shown all over the world to private investors and private dealers. And what we get to do is we get to view these diamonds individually, and we get to make one bid on them. So you better know your business, or else you're going to end up with none of these diamonds. So basically, I get to view these diamonds in a private room. I get to bid on the ones that I want, only one bid, and hopefully I know my business well enough to win some of these diamonds. They're very expensive. The jewelers that buy them, from New York and from Europe, put these into amazing pieces of jewelry, and they sell for 4 or 5 times what they paid for them. So the fact is, these are amongst the best investment diamonds in the world. The mine is going to close down within the next 6 years, and we want our clients to own these diamonds. I personally have invested tremendously, 7, 8 figures, to buy these diamonds for you. We cut them and polish them. They're laser inscribed. They're all GIA certified. And when you see these diamonds, they'll literally take your breath away. When you look at the videos, we video every one of our diamonds, and you can now see these diamonds on video. Now, if you go to the Vivid section, the pink Vivids, they are the best color that you can possibly get, and consequently the most expensive and the ones that go up the most in value. Again, they're very, very difficult to get. Look at the featured diamond this week. It's a 62-point pear shape, fancy, vivid, purplish pink Argyle diamond with all the papers, all the documents. It will literally take your breath away. This diamond will be a 7-figure diamond by the time we sell it for you, and it's nowhere near that price at this point. So again, we invest in these diamonds. We deliver them directly to you. You own them outright. We send you our newsletters each week. We send you our diamond newsletters each month for free, and then on top of that, we send you auction results from around the world. When it's time to sell these diamonds, how do you sell them? We're the only company that can resell them for you. There's many, many companies that try to copy what we do. I've been in business 35 years, and nobody does the diamond business like we do. We own 8 Siegel Fine Auctions. We built the only online real-time auction website to sell our clients' diamonds, and it's live. I sell every single piece that comes onto our site. We sold Oprah Winfrey's pink diamond necklace for 7 times what the cost was. So basically, we are the only company that can deliver these amazing diamonds to you, and when the time comes to sell them, we sell the diamonds for you at auction, and we've created that secondary market, which the diamond market needed tremendously in order to resell diamonds, and that's what we do. In actual fact, that's how we make our money, because if you don't do well, we don't do well, because we get 10% of the profit. So if you bought a diamond for $50,000, and let's say that Argyle Pink over 10 years goes to $500,000, you make a $450,000 return, we get $45,000, you get all the rest. So again, we know our business. We've invested very heavily to buy these diamonds for our clients to be able to invest in them. Very, very few of them exist. In fact, the Argyle mine produces 30 million carats of diamonds a year, but only 200 carats a year are these beautiful pink diamonds. That's how rare they are. In the whole sequence of things, red diamonds are the rarest of all diamonds. There's very, very few of them available. The Argyle tender this year, a few reds came out. I happen to own 2 of the new red Argyle diamonds that just came out. So when you go to our website, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, also do yourself a favor. Go to the red diamond section and look at the 2 videos of the red diamonds. You've never seen a diamond like that before, because very, very few of them exist, and red diamonds start at $2.5 million a carat. So again, with the Argyle Pink Diamond Tender going on at this point, it's the biggest thing in the diamond business each each year. And again, what I'm noticing is that the quality and the quantity of diamonds are getting less and less. Last year, the largest pink diamond to come out of the Argyle mine was just over 2 carats. This year, it's just over a carat, so the diamonds are getting smaller and smaller. Now, for all you clients out there that own Argyle pink diamonds and all you out there that listen to our radio shows that want to learn more about them, the Argyle tender is going on right now. I happen to have the list of all the diamonds being offered at the Argyle pink diamond tender. If you would like to see a copy of what's being offered and the clarity and all the I-1s that are being offered, you need to see this report if you're going to invest in these diamonds, because it'll give you a clear indication as to which direction these diamonds are going. In my opinion, they're going straight up in value, and you want to buy these before the end of the year. We're going to see a massive price increase as very few diamonds came out of the mine this year, and everybody's scrambling to try to get these diamonds. I knew that that was going to happen. That's why by the end of over the weekend, you will see in our pink diamond section probably close to 50 or 60 of the most beautiful Argyle pink diamonds that you've ever seen. These diamonds are so beautiful that we came out with the Argyle Dream collection of jewelry. We put these amazing, gorgeous pink Argyle diamonds into the most beautiful pieces of jewelry for you, and when we sell them at auction, they just sell for an absolute fortune. In the meantime, you could wear this beautiful ring or necklace or earrings till they go up in value, and then we'll sell them for you. Again, if you are buying diamonds from imitators, companies that are copying us, again, just make certain that they're going to be able to sell those diamonds for you. I would hate to see you, invest in diamonds for the right reason, but invest with the wrong firm. The other diamonds you want to look at are yellow flawless diamonds. We specialize in those. They have to be flawless. They go up by 25% a year. They double every 4 years. And here's the exciting thing. During times of high inflation, they outperform almost any other asset, and they went up 500% in 1979 and 80. Means that if we get a repeat of that, which I believe we will, a $20,000 yellow in 5 years from now with inflation could be $100,000. And we have the most beautiful yellow diamonds that you have ever seen, starting at $15,000 and going all the way up into the millions. In fact, we have a 30-carat fancy intense yellow internally flawless diamond ring that will literally take your breath away. It's a one of a kind. So these yellow flawless diamonds, again, never ever drop in price because there's so few of them, maybe 100 a year for the entire world. On top of that, during times of inflation, which we know we're going to hit now with quantitative easing 3, a $20,000 diamond in 5 years could be worth $100,000 to you. There's very, very few investments left in this world that can give you that type of return with the safety that you have in the rare diamond market, because there's no risk to them. They've never ever gone down in value. You only want to invest in flawless yellows, internally flawless yellows, and again, these Argyle pinks. Wait till you see the videos of these diamonds. Now also next week, my exotic yellow diamonds are coming out. These took so long to cut, but these are the round yellow flawlesses. They're the princess cuts. They're the emerald cuts. The extremely, extremely rare yellows are also coming out, all in time for this huge increase that's coming in the marketplace. So again, if you believe that we're going to see massive inflation, you want to be in gold, silver, and colored diamonds. Again, other diamonds that we carry that do phenomenal, we don't only deal in colored diamonds, even though that is the majority of my business. There is one clear or white diamond that we recommend very, very heavily, and these are the D flawless white diamonds, the most rare white diamonds in the world, which represents 0.001% of the marketplace. I own about 100 of these diamonds. I invested very heavily in them. Last year they went up 45% in 1 year. They're nearly impossible to get. These are all perfect, flawless, D flawless diamonds. D meaning they're colorless, which is the best you can possibly get, and flawless or internally flawless means the best clarity. So we have these diamonds. They're also on our website. They went up 45% last year. They're nearly impossible to get, and these are all the diamonds that we recommend to you. Again, we want you to own these diamonds for safety and for profit. And again, with what's happening in the diamond market, there's not been a new mine that's opened in the last 15 years that produce any colored diamonds. For all the callers that call on Argyle Pink Diamonds, again, I want to talk to you about the Argyle tender, show you what's happening at the tender, show you the diamonds that are being offered this year, and you're going to see for yourself why these diamonds are in such tremendous demand, why the supplies are getting smaller and so is the quantity, and on top of that, why these diamonds are going to skyrocket in price. If you do believe in these rare colored diamonds, which we do tremendously, as do most of my clients, these are amongst the best investments you could make. With high inflation coming, they will skyrocket in price. The Argyle mine is going to close down. There goes 95% of the supply, and the prices will skyrocket. But again, before the end of this year, we could see a 40% increase on the higher quality Argyle pinks because there's hardly any available anywhere in the world. Randy, of all the recommendations that we've made, this is one of the ones I'm most excited about because, again, every one of my clients that owns one of these diamonds has said the same thing. They've just never seen anything so beautiful. And again, with my auction company, 8 Siegel Fine Auctions, where at the end of October we'll be holding again another auction, you're going to flip when you see what we've created for you to create a secondary market to resell not only your diamonds, but your emeralds, rubies, sapphires, and very high-end gold pieces. Again, we built this for you, our clients, to do well.
RareColoredDiamonds.com. Go there immediately. Take a look around. It's a museum of rare diamonds. RareColoredDiamonds.com. Connect with Harold on the telephone if you prefer to do business over the phone. 1-800-432-1022. 1-800-432-1022. RareColoredDiamonds.com is the website. Harold was talking about the Argyle pink tender. We talked about it last week on the radio show. We have a story from the Financial Times of London on Argyle pink diamonds. Get that story from Harold. Also, Rio Tinto, the company that owns the Argyle mine, a story we have in our newsletter. Another must-read. They flag diamond prices to surge. Rio Tinto has forecasted a price rise for diamonds over the next decade as demand from China and India continues to soar, but they say supply remains subdued by a lack of major new discoveries of mines. At a presentation in Montreal, the managing director of Rio Tinto Diamonds, Bruce Cox, says there have been no new Tier 1 diamond discoveries in the past 17 years. As a result, demand-supply imbalances would widen. That is a huge positive for diamond investment. We have another story that I wanted to hear about as well. It's from the Financial Times. They did a story this week. Diamonds may take over from precious metals. You can read it in our newsletter. Get our newsletter from Harold. And here are a couple of little snippets from that article. This is a quote from Peter Laib, chairman of Diamond Asset Advisors. After the subprime disaster and with economic uncertainty, investors are looking for low volatility investments. Diamonds are less volatile, as they're resistant to speculation by the financial community. So there are no derivatives or tradable products, and no short selling is possible. He also said supply constraints are a big factor. With no new mines expected to emerge in the next 10 years and existing mines past their peak, diamonds, obviously, the supply will decline. And Andrew Coxon, who is with the De Beers Institute of Diamonds, said, "We do, of course, see clients investing these days in rare, beautiful diamonds, but purchasers know that they are also a sound investment. It's a good investment. In fact, it's as good as art. If you buy for your own pleasure as well for capital appreciation." And a couple of other interesting notes from this Financial Times article. Diamond prices were up before hedge funds started to get involved. They are getting involved in this market. People want concrete investments that are also portable, says Rao Katika. He's the head of the fine jewelry department at Christie's Auction House. In '96, Christie sold $273 million worth of jewels globally. In 2011, that reached $605 million. In the first half of this year, they sold $305 million. And here's something to consider. According to research done by Barclays Wealth, the world's millionaires are devoting an average of 10% of their fortunes to non-financial assets, such as quote-unquote collectibles, alternative investments like rare diamonds. Get all this information from Harold. Get our newsletter from Harold. Go to RareColoredDiamonds.com. Speak with Harold via the telephone 1-800-432-1022, and also speak to Harold about our featured diamond. 0.62 carat paracut fancy vivid purple pink Argyle diamond. Harold, people don't need to wait for the tender. They can educate themselves. You can get them an Argyle pink diamond today.
Oh, you bet. Again, I've invested very, very heavily in them. They're about the best investment you can make. Another thing is you consider at this particular point is that Canadian dollar is worth more than the U.S. dollar, and these diamonds are priced in U.S. dollars. So it's very exciting to know that with the Canadian dollar at 103 and the U.S. dollar down to where it is today, that you're getting another 3%. Help as far as the change in the currency. So it's also very exciting that when we go to sell your diamonds, we hold auctions all over the world. In fact, at our last auctions, many of our European clients were buying all of our diamonds because the British pound was worth so much more than the U.S. dollar, and that will continue. So again, it just puts us into a phenomenal position. All we want, we're in the most difficult financial times that we've ever seen. Most of us are not old enough to have gone through the Great Depression, but basically this is probably going to be about the closest thing to it. Some people that are very knowledgeable are talking about, the potential destruction of certain currencies and things like that. So with all the danger out there, we need to have a safe asset, something that could be sold in another currency, something that nobody knows that you own, that could fit in your pocket or in your wife's finger, and nobody would know the difference until we sell it for you. So again, with all the danger out there, with all the reports and everything, if you read the newsletter, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Guys like George Soros and some of the most prolific traders and investors in the world are all very concerned about the world economy in Europe and the United States. Let's take away that danger. Let's put some of our money into an asset that is safe, that won't decline in value, that could literally save your life financially. Again, if we have a portfolio of physical gold, silver, and diamonds and oil in your portfolio, we're not only going to get through these difficult times, but we're going to prosper. And again, I think the biggest returns are going to come in silver and in diamonds. I think our clients are going to do extremely well. We're going to remain very conservative. And again, when the time is right, we own 8 Siegel Fine Auctions, the most amazing auction house to resell not only your diamonds for you, but any of your high-end collectibles. We had clients that bought, for example, a Libertad from us 5 or 6 years ago. A Libertad is a 1 kilo Mexican silver coin. Client paid $1,500 at auction. It sold for $4,200. So again, we do a great job for our clients. Again, I was the first one to bring rare colored diamonds to the forefront. Nobody ever talked about it before until I wrote the report, Rare Colored Diamonds, the Best Kept Secret, and then all of a sudden, all hell broke loose and everybody's talking about diamonds. We've been in the business the longest. We've got the largest supply of diamonds, and we only buy the very best because we're the one that has to sell it for you. Again, if you are buying diamonds through other companies, there's nothing wrong with competition. Just make certain that they're legitimate and that they can resell the diamonds for you. We want your business. That's why we do what we do. Go to rarecoloreddiamonds.com and 8 Siegel Fine Auctions, and you'll see the 2 most amazing places for diamonds. And when you see these Argyle pinks and these beautiful yellow flawlesses, you're definitely going to want to own one. And then, again, as an investment, there's just nothing better.
Get our free weekly newsletter from Worldwide Precious Metals or Herald. We have information on charts of the week, quotes and quick hits, diamonds, gold, silver, the Fed and quantitative easing, U.S. deficit and debt, sovereign debt, jobs, real estate, and geopolitical. Before the show is up here, the United States, their deficit will top $1 trillion for the 4th time. Moody's is talking about another possible cut in their credit rating, and Germany says there's great uncertainty about U.S. debt after the November presidential election when they face that fiscal cliff. Get our newsletter this week. Now is the time to invest in precious metals. 1-866-623-2002 is the number to call. Educate yourself. Worldwide Precious Metals will do that. Their website, www.pmc.com. Connect with Harold at rarecoloreddiamonds.com or 1-800-432-1022. Harold, unlimited quantitative easing. We're seeing geopolitical problems around the world, embassies being attacked, an ambassador being killed. But now is a time for people to position themselves. If we do get serious inflation, have that financial firewall, that financial bomb shelter, you can protect yourself. We have about 20 seconds left here.
Well, that's exactly it. I think you've summed it up beautifully. There's tremendous danger out there and very confusing times. We just want to not complicate things. Physical gold, physical silver, own your diamonds, And again, we're going to get through these difficult times and do extremely well. Again, I want to wish everybody a wonderful weekend and a very profitable day.
Thank you, Harold. Connect with Harold, rarecoloreddiamonds.com or 1-800-432-1022. The company Harold recommends you use for precious metals worldwide, precious metals, wwpmc.com or 1-866-623-2002. That's it. Another edition of the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall. We will talk to you next week.